Imagine a dawn where the sun hides its warmth, casting a pale blue veil over the earth, where cliffs stand silent under a twilight that whispers of mystery. Welcome to History Orbit, where we weave the threads of the past into a gentle cradle to ease you into dreams. If these soothing tales wrap you in calm, a quick click to subscribe keeps our stories orbiting your nights, perhaps to share with a friend seeking a peaceful escape. Now, settle into your quiet space, let your breath slow and drift back to 536 CE, the year the world fell into shadow when a strange fog stole the light from the Byzantine Empire. Picture a small village in Cappadocia, its homes carved into soft, tough cliffs, their stone walls warmed by flickering hearths, the air thick with the scent of barley fields, dusty paths and grazing goats. In this village, a boy named Theo, just 10, stirs on a straw mattress in his family's cave home. The month is March and the world feels wrong. Theo blinks awake, expecting golden sunlight to spill through the narrow window, but a dim, bluish glow creeps in, cold and strange, casting no shadows on the rough floor. His mother, Anna, kneels by the hearth, stirring a pot of lentil porridge, her wooden cross glinting as she glances outside, her brow furrowed with worry. Something's not right, she murmurs, her voice soft but tight. Theo's father, Silas, a farmer with weathered hands and a calm gaze, steps inside, his cloak dusted with frost impossible for spring. The sun's blue, he says, like a faded jewel, and the fields are too cold to grow. Theo pulls his tunic tighter, his heart thudding, and follows his parents to the village square where neighbors gather, their voices a low hum of fear, their breath puffing in the chilly air. Old Helena, the village healer with silver braids and sharp eyes, clutches a woven shawl and speaks of omens. The heavens are troubled, she says. This darkness is a sign. The chickens huddle in their coop, refusing to peck, and the goats bleat restlessly, their eyes wide. Theo tugs at Anna's hand, asking if the sun will return. She squeezes his fingers, her smile forced. We'll pray, my love, and hope it does. The family returns to their cave, the air heavy with the smell of smoke and lentils, and they eat in silence, the porridge thin but warm, the hearth's crackle of small comfort against the eerie light. By midday, the sky remains cloaked, a thick fog muffling the world, the sun a pale disk offering no warmth, its blue hue casting a ghostly glow over the cliffs. Farmers return from the fields, their baskets empty, saying the barley seedlings are yellowing, their roots weak. Bees have vanished, leaving flowers untouched, and the village well, once alive with laughter, grows quiet, women drawing water with hurried steps, their eyes avoiding each other. Silas joins the village elders at the small church, its frescoes of saints faded but watchful, their painted gazes heavy with judgment. Father Matthias, the priest, speaks of faith and patience, his voice trembling. While the elders debate, one calls for a sacrifice to appease the sky. Another insists it's a passing storm. Helena's voice cuts through. This is no storm, it's a warning. We've lost our way. Theo, hiding behind a pillar, listens, his chest tight, his small wooden dove, carved by Silas, clutched in his pocket, its smooth curves a quiet anchor. The meeting ends without answers, and Silas returns, his face drawn, his hands rough from years of ploughing. That evening, the family sits by the hearth, Anna mending a torn cloak, her needle moving slowly. Silas sharpening his sickle, the scrape of stone a steady rhythm against the wind's moan outside. Theo hugs his knees, staring into the flames, their orange glow a stark contrast to the blue haze beyond the walls. What's happening? He asks, his voice small. Silas pauses, his eyes heavy. The world's changing, Theo, but we'll endure. We always have. Sleep comes fitfully, the wind rattling the wooden shutters, howling through the cliffs like a restless spirit. Days pass, and the fog lingers, unrelenting, the sun's weak light barely warming the earth. Crops wither, insects disappear, and the village's silence grows eerie. No birds sing, only the wind hums through the caves. Anna stretches their grain with ground acorns, the bread bitter but filling, and Theo eats quietly, seeing the worry in her eyes, her hands thinner than before. Travelers passing through bring grim tales, the same darkness cloaks Constantinople, the empire's heart, and lands from Persia to the far west. Some speak of ash falling like snow, others of springs frozen in March. A merchant named Demetrius, his sandals worn, whispers of Emperor Justinian summoning scholars to unravel the sky's mystery. His voice low as if the fog might listen. Theo listens, wide-eyed, imagining Constantinople's golden domes lost in haze. A city of stories he's never seen. The village begins to unravel. A farmer accuses another of stealing seed grain. Their shouts echoing in the square until Father Matthias intervenes, his hands raised for calm. Helena's warnings draw a crowd each evening, her tales of ancient plagues and floods stirring fear. Her eyes burning with conviction. Silas calls her stories old fears, but Anna prays more, her fingers tracing her cross. Her lips moving silently. Theo feels torn, wanting his father's strength, but haunted by Helena's words. The wooden dove heavy in his pocket. One night, a storm sweeps through, rain pelting the cave's roof, the wind shaking the walls like an angry spirit. Theo wakes to his parents whispering, "We can't stay." Anna says, "The crops are dead. The goats are thin. We'll starve here." Silas hesitates. Constantinople's far and full of dangers, he murmurs, but Anna's voice is firm. "There's work, markets, maybe hope there." Theo pretends to sleep, his heart racing. Leaving Cappadocia means abandoning the cliffs where he played, the fields where he ran, the cave that smells of home, its stone walls warm from the hearth. Yet staying feels worse, the village dying under the fog's weight, its people growing gaunt, their eyes hollow. By late March, the decision is final. They'll join the refugees heading to Constantinople, seeking survival in the city's vast embrace. They pack their few belongings, a sack of grain, Silas's tools, Anna's cross, and Theo's wooden dove, its edges smooth from his touch, a piece of home to carry forward. Silas trades their last goat for a creaking cart, its wheels wobbling but sturdy, its wood rough under Theo's fingers. The village square is nearly empty as they prepare to leave, many neighbors already gone, others too weak to move. Helena stands at her door, her eyes sharp. "Go with God," she says, but the city offers no mercy. Theo shivers, clutching Anna's hand, the wooden dove a small weight against his fear. The road stretches west, a dusty path winding through rocky hills and sparse olive groves, their leaves dull under the haze. The family joins a caravan of refugees, their faces thin, their carts piled with meager possessions, the air heavy with the smell of unwashed bodies and stale bread. A woman named Maria, a weaver with a gentle smile, walks beside them, her basket filled with dried herbs, their faint scent a comfort in the cold. She offers Anna a salve for her chapped hands, and they talk softly, sharing memories of brighter days, their voices a quiet thread in the caravan's murmur. Theo listens, soothed by their words, but the chill bites his fingers, and the cart's creak grates on his nerves, a reminder of the uncertain road ahead. The first night, they camp in a rocky hollow, the fog so thick Theo can barely see the fire's glow, its warmth fleeting against the damp air. Silas keeps watch, his sickle at his side, while Anna hums a lullaby, her voice trembling but steady. Theo curls up beside her, the wooden dove pressed against his chest, and dreams of a blue sun swallowing the cliffs, its light cold and endless. The journey drags on, frost coating the ground each morning, impossible for spring. The caravan moving slowly, their steps heavy with hunger. Maria shares her herbs, brewing teas to ease empty stomachs, but food dwindles. And Theo sees his parents skip meals to save scraps for him, their faces growing sharper. One evening, a man in the caravan collapses, too weak to walk, and the group moves on, leaving him behind, his moans fading into the fog. Theo fights tears, Silas's hand heavy on his shoulder. "Keep walking, son, we must." By the time Constantinople's walls rise in the distance, Theo is weary, his legs aching, his hope thin as the threadbare cloak around his shoulders. The city, fabled for its splendor, looks grim under the fog, its domes dull, its gates crowded with desperate souls, their voices a low wail. Guards block the main entrance, shouting that only citizens may pass, their spears glinting in the dim light. Panic ripples through the caravan and Theo clings to Anna, his heart pounding. The wooden dove, his only anchor. Maria, undaunted, leads them to a harbour gate where her cousin Philip, a dock worker with a scarred face and steady eyes, works. The harbour smells of salt and rotting fish, ships unloading sparse grain under heavy guard. Their creaking hulls a distant song. Philip vouches for Silas as a worker, his voice firm, securing their entry. And Theo steps into Constantinople, overwhelmed by its noise, its crowds, its towering walls. The city pulses with life but chokes on fear, its streets thick with hunger, and Theo wonders if they've traded one darkness for another. The story pauses here, with Theo's family at the city's edge, the blue sun watching over a world of uncertainty. Let the gentle lap of the harbour's waves lull you now, and we'll continue in the next part, where Constantinople's heartbeat awaits under a shadowed sky. As the gentle lap of Constantinople's harbour waves lingers in your mind, picture the vast sprawl of the city under a hazy sky in 536 CE, its stone walls towering like silent giants. Their surfaces slick with damp from a fog that clings like a shroud, the air heavy with the sharp tang of salt, the acrid bite of smoke from braziers, and the sour scent of unwashed bodies crowding narrow cobblestone streets. Theo, just 10, follows his parents Anna and Silas through the chaos, his eyes wide at the city's faded grandeur, its churches gleaming with mosaics dulled by the blue light of a sun that offers no warmth, their golden tiles catching the eerie glow. The harbour's creaking ships fade behind, replaced by the clamour of merchants hawking shriveled figs, mouldy bread and wilted greens, their voices hoarse in the chilly air, their stalls leaning precariously under tattered awnings. Philip, the scarred dock worker who secured their entry, leads them through a maze of alleys. The cobblestones uneven under Theo's sandals, his toes cold despite the spring month of April, to a tenement in a cramped corner of the city, its walls damp with mildew, its packed earth floor gritty and cold, the air thick with the smell of sour grain, and the faint coughs of other refugees echoing through thin partitions. Anna sets their meager belongings in a corner, a sack of grain, a cracked clay pot, her wooden cross glinting faintly in the dim light filtering through a narrow window, while Silas, his hands already rough from years of ploughing Cappadocian fields, prepares for dock work, his shoulders squared but his eyes heavy with worry. Theo clutches his wooden dove, its smooth curves are tethered to their lost village, its cliffs and halves now a distant memory as the family steps into a new life. Under a shadowed sky, the city's pulse both thrilling and terrifying, a relentless rhythm of survival that Theo learns. Quickly, Silas rises before dawn, hauling grain sacks at the docks until his hands bleed, the salt air stinging his cuts, his tunic soaked with sweat despite the unnatural chill, while Anna takes work washing linens for a wealthy household near the Forum. Her fingers rough and lie, her wooden cross tucked under her tunic as she scrubs in a courtyard where the fog clings like a second skin, the water in her bucket frosted at the edges. Theo, too young for heavy labor, is sent to scavenge alleys, for scraps dodging thieves with quick fingers and guards with stern faces, his heart pounding at the clatter of chariots, their wheels grinding over cobblestones, and the shouts of vendors haggling over dwindling supplies. The city is a labyrinth, its streets lined with crumbling insulae, their roofs leaking cold drips, and grand churches where priests chant prayers for salvation, their voices muffled by the haze, the air thick with the scent of incense and wax. The sun remains a pale disk, casting an eerie blue glow over the golden domes of the Hagia Sophia, still under repair from past quakes, its scaffolds creaking in the wind, a symbol of an empire, straining under the weight of darkness. At night the family huddles in their tenement corner, sharing thin porridge flavored with Maria's dried herbs, the weaver from their caravan, now a neighbor, her gentle smile a rare warmth in the cold, her basket of herbs dwindling but still enough to ease hunger pangs, her fingers deft as she mends Theo's torn cloak with thread unraveled from her own shawl. Philip visits when he can, his boots crusted with harbor mud, his voice low as he shares news of the dock's grain ships, a few each week. He says riots spark over moldy loaves, and the emperor's guards grow harsher, their spears glinting in the dim light. Anna's worry deepens, her eyes scanning the room as she stirs the pot over a weak fire. Her hands thinner than before. While Silas speaks of hope, scholars are studying the sky. He says, Justinian's men will find answers, but his voice falters and Theo feels the weight of their words. The wooden dove heavy in his pocket, its curves worn smooth by his anxious fingers. Weeks pass and the fog persists, frost-coating cobblestones in May. An unnatural chill that bites Theo's fingers as he scours the market for dropped barley. His sandals slipping on icy stones, his breath puffing in the air. The city's tension rises, crowds clash over dwindling supplies, their shouts echoing off stone walls, the air sharp with the smell of spilled wine and rotting fruit. A preacher named Simon stands in the forum, his voice booming through the haze, calling the darkness divine judgment, his robes flapping as he points to the sky, his eyes wild with conviction, drawing crowds of desperate listeners, their faces gaunt under threadbare cloaks. Theo watches, perched on a broken wall, his heart torn between fear and curiosity, the preacher's words clashing with Silas's quiet assurances that the sun will return. Anna prays more, her fingers tracing her cross, her lips moving silently as she kneels on the cold floor. The tenement's damp walls pressing in, the air heavy with the scent of mildew and despair. Theo tries to help carrying water from a crowded well, its surface slick with frost, the buckets heavy in his small hands, his arms aching as he weaves through the bustling streets, avoiding pickpockets and stray dogs that growls low in the fog. Silas attempts to grow beans in a hidden patch near the city walls. Their green shoots a flicker of hope, the earth soft under Theo's fingers as he helps water them. But guards uproot the plants, claiming the land for the emperor's stores, leaving Theo staring at the trampled soil, his stomach empty, his hope bruised. Desperation drives Silas to cultivate mushrooms in the tenement's damp cellar, their bitter taste filling bellies but souring the tongue. The air below thick with the musty smell of earth and decay. Theo chews slowly, the flavor lingering, and sees his parents' faces grow sharper, their portions smaller to save scraps for him, their eyes heavy with unspoken fears. The city's tension spills over in late summer, a market riot erupting when a baker doubles prices. His stall overturned, grain spilling like sand across the cobblestones. The crowd's shouts drowning out the cries of gulls circling above. Theo sent to fetch bread flees as guards swing clubs, their armor clanking, the air thick with dust and fear. His heart racing as he ducks into an alley, the wooden dove clutched tight its smooth wood, grounding him against the chaos. That night as the family huddles in their tenement, the air heavy with the smell of mold, and worry a new danger strikes, a fire sparking from a tipped brazier in a nearby stall, its flames spreading through the market, licking the wooden beams of tenements like hungry tongues, the crackle growing to a roar. Theo wakes to shouts and a choking smell of smoke, the blue haze now glowing orange, the air hot and thick, stinging his eyes. Anna grabs their belongings, the sack of grain, her cross, a single pot, her hands trembling as she stuffs them into a bundle, while Silas lifts Theo, his grit fierce, his breath ragged, and they run toward the harbor, the streets a chaos of running feet, falling ash and screams. The fire's heat searing Theo's face, its light a cruel mockery of the sun. They've lost. Women wail, children cry, and guards shout for order, their voices lost in the din. The city's pulse now a frantic drumbeat of survival. At the docks the harbor's familiar tang of salt and rotting fish mixes with the acrid stench of burning wood, ships bobbing in the water. Their sails furled, their crews scrambling to load what grain remains before the flames reach the piers. Philip finds them in the crowd, his scarred face grim, his voice urgent. There's a ship, the Star's Grace, taking children to Sicily. He says it's safer there, away from the fire, his hand steady on Theo's shoulder. Theo clings to Anna, his heart pounding, but the crowd surges, separating them. Silas's hand slipping from his arm, Anna's face pale as she kisses his forehead, her tears warm against his skin, her voice breaking. We'll find you, Theo, stay strong. Silas presses the wooden dove deeper into Theo's hand. Go, son, we'll come for you. His eyes red but resolute, his voice a whisper against the roar of the flames. Philip lifts Theo and 5 other children onto the ship, their small bodies trembling, their faces streaked with soot, their eyes wide with fear. The Star's Grace creaks as it pulls away, its deck slick with spray, the harbor's waves lapping gently against its hull, a soft rhythm amid the chaos. Theo stands at the rail gripping the wooden dove, his eyes fixed on Constantinople's burning skyline. The golden domes blackened against the fire's glow, the fog swallowing the city like a shroud. Anna and Silas fading into the crowd, their figures lost in the haze. The sea stretches ahead, cold and vast, its waves rocking the ship with a rhythm both soothing and relentless. The other children huddling nearby, a girl named Clara with tangled hair whispering prayers, her voice trembling. A boy named Lucas staring silently at the horizon, his eyes wide with loss. The captain, a grizzled man named Andreas, barks orders, his voice rough but steady, promising Syracuse, a city of refuge in days if the winds hold. His hands calloused from years at sea. Theo feels the weight of the unknown, the city's fire behind him, his parents' fate uncertain. The wooden dove a small comfort in his trembling hands, its wood warm from his grip. The fog clings to the sea, the blue sun watching from above, its light weak but unyielding, a silent witness to their flight, the ship's timbers groaning, the sails snapping in the wind. Theo's breath slows, the rocking waves a lullaby amid the fear, his thoughts drifting to Anna's songs, Silas's strength, the Cappadocian cliffs left behind. Now just a memory etched in his heart. The journey stretches, days blurring into nights, the fog thickening at times, thinning at others, but never lifting, the children sharing moldy bread and brackish water, their faces pale, their voices quiet, the deck cold under their feet. Clara tells Theo of her lost brother, her voice soft, her hands twisting a frayed cord, while Lucas shares a memory of his mother's bread, its crust crisp and warm, his words halting, but kind, their stories weaving a fragile bond, a thread of hope in the cold. Andreas keeps the ship steady, his eyes scanning the horizon, muttering of storms and pirates. But the sea remains calm, its surface glassy under the blue light, the air carrying the faint salt of distant shores. Theo sleeps fitfully, curled on the deck, the wooden dove pressed against his chest. His dreams a jumble of fire and cliffs, his parents' faces fading like the fog. The ship's creak a constant companion. One morning, a shout from the crew stirs him, land ahead. Syracuse's hills rising faint on the horizon, their slopes green despite the haze. The air carrying a new scent, earth and olives, a promise of rest. The children gather at the rail, their eyes bright with cautious hope. The Star's Grace docking in Syracuse's harbor, its stones worn, but solid, the city smaller than Constantinople, but alive with the hum of markets, the bleat of distant sheep, the chatter of fishermen unloading nets. Theo steps onto the pier, his legs unsteady, the wooden dove still in his hand. Philip's voice calling from the shore, the dockworker having followed on another ship. His loyalty acquired strength, his boots crunching on the gravel. He leads Theo and the children to a warehouse, its air thick with the scent of grain and dust. A temporary shelter for refugees, its stone floor cold but dry. The rustle of grain sacks a strange comfort. Syracuse is crowded, its streets narrow, its people wary but kinder than Constantinople's guards. Their voices softer, their eyes less hard. Philip promises work, food, a chance to rebuild, and Theo nods. His heart torn between hope and longing for Anna and Silas, the wooden dove warm in his pocket, a tether to his lost family. The fog lingers, but Syracuse feels different, its air lighter, its sun a shade less blue. As if the world is stirring, the scent of olives and earth a faint promise of better days. Theo traces the wooden dove, whispering prayers for his parents. Their faces a fading memory, but their love a steady flame. The warehouse's shadows softening as he closes his eyes. The rustle of grain a gentle lullaby. The story pauses here, with Theo on Sicily's shore, his heart heavy but unbroken. Let the gentle rustle of grain lull you now, and we'll continue in the next part, where Sicily's hills offer hope under a sky daring to clear. As the gentle rustle of grain in Syracuse's warehouse lingers in your mind, Picture Theo, now 10, standing on a weathered pier in 537 CE, the air thick with the scent of sea salt damp straw and the faint sweetness of olives carried on. The breeze from Sicily's hills the city's harbour alive with the creak of ships, the shouts of fishermen unloading nets, and the distant bleat of sheep grazing on slopes under a sky still tinted blue by the lingering fog. Theo's legs wobble from the long journey on the stars grace his sandals gritty with sand, his hand clutching the wooden dove its smooth curves warm from his grip a tether to his lost parents Hannah and Silas left behind in Constantinople's burning chaos, their faces fading in his memory, but their love a steady flame. Philip, the scarred dock worker who followed on another ship, leads Theo and the other children, Clara, Lucas, Leo, Zoe and Marcos through Syracuse's narrow streets, their cobblestones worn smooth, the air lighter than Constantinople's heavy haze, the sun a shade less blue, as if the world is stirring from its twilight slumber. The warehouse, their temporary shelter, smells of dust and grain, its stone floor cold, but dry, the rustle of sacks a soft rhythm against the murmurs of other refugees, their faces gaunt, their voices low with exhaustion. Philip secures them a corner, piling straw for beds, the stalks prickling Theo's skin as he lies down, his stomach rumbling, the wooden dove pressed against his chest, its weight a quiet comfort. Syracuse is smaller than Constantinople, its markets bustling but strained. Vendors selling shriveled figs and tough bread, their prices high, their eyes wary of the growing crowd of refugees. Theo, Clara and Lucas stick close, their bond forged on the ship. Clara's tangled hair framing her pale face as she whispers prayers, her fingers twisting a freight cord. Lucas's quiet gaze fixed on the horizon, his hands steady despite his fear. The sea journey lingers in Theo's mind, the stars grace rocking through a storm 3 nights prior. The sky black with clouds, the deck slick with spray, the wind howling like a restless spirit. Andreas, the grizzled captain, shouting orders, his voice cutting through the thunder, his hands gripping the helm as waves crashed over the bow, soaking Theo's cloak, chilling his bones. Clara clung to him during the storm, her prayers mixing with the wind's wail, while Lucas helped tie ropes, his small frame surprisingly strong, their shared fear weaving a thread of trust. Now, in Syracuse, the storm is a memory, but hunger is real. The children given small rations of barley porridge, its taste bland but filling, the grain gritty on Theo's tongue. Philip works the docks, hauling fish and grain, his boots crunching on gravel, his voice promising better days. But food is scarce and the warehouse grows crowded, the air heavy with coughs and whispers of plague in distant towns. Theo explores the city, his sandals slapping cobblestones, dodging carts, and stray dogs, their barks sharp in the morning air, the streets alive with the smell of baking bread and rotting fish. The market a maze of stalls where vendors shout over each other, their wares sparse under the fogs. Dim light. He scavenges for scraps, finding a bruised apple or a crust of bread, his heart racing when a merchant chases him, his shouts fading as Theo ducks into an alley. The wooden dove, his only companion. Zoe, a girl of 12 with quick eyes, joins him, her nimble fingers snatching a fallen fig. Before a crow can claim it, her grin a spark of light in the gloom. Her stories of her lost village enforce a quiet bond as they share their meager finds. Marcos, a boy with a limp, follows, his voice soft but kind, teaching Theo to spot edible weeds near the city walls, their bitter leaves chewy but sustaining. The refugees face tension, locals muttering about stretched resources, their glares cold as they pass the warehouse, some tossing stones at night, the thuds waking Theo, his heart pounding, the straw scratching his skin. Philip negotiates with a dockmaster named Iris, a weary woman with a sharp tongue, who offers work sorting fish for small wages. The smell of brine and scales clinging to Theo's hands as he sorts baskets, his fingers numb. In the chilly air, the work is grueling, the fish slippery, their eyes glassy, but the coins buy a loaf of bread. Its crust tough but shared with Clara and Lucas, their smiles of fleeting warmth. News of Constantinople trickles in, travelers speaking of the fire's destruction, markets burned, Home's lost, and Theo's hope of finding Anna and Silas fades. His prayers whispered over the wooden dove, its curves worn smooth each night. The fog thins slightly, the sun's light a touch warmer, but hunger persists, and rumors of plague grow, a merchant named Leo whispering of villages emptied by fever. His voice low as he unloads grain, his hands trembling. Philip keeps the children close, his presence a shield. His stories of Sicilian hills and olive groves a promise of better days, the air carrying their faint scent as if to confirm his words. Theo learns the city's rhythm, waking at dawn to fetch water, the well's bucket heavy. It's rope rough, the water cold against his skin, then joining Zoe and Marcos to scavenge. Their steps quick through alleys, the air sharp with the smell of smoke and salt. Clara teaches him a prayer, her voice soft, her hands steady despite her fear, while Lucas shares a trick for weaving straw into mats. Their work easing the cold of the warehouse floor, the rustle of straw a soothing sound. One evening, a fight breaks out in the market, refugees and locals clashing over a cart of grain. The air filled with shouts and a crunch of fists, guards breaking it up with staffs. Their blows heavy, Theo hiding behind a barrel, his heart racing, the wooden dove clutched tight. Philip pulls him away, his grip firm, his voice calm. "We'll survive this, lad," he says. His eyes steady, and Theo nods, his fear easing under Philip's strength. The warehouse becomes a fragile home, its walls echoing with the stories of others. A woman mourning her lost husband, a man singing of mountains. Far away their voices blending into a quiet hum that lulls Theo to sleep, the straw prickling his back, the wooden dove a constant in his dreams. Months pass, the fog still clinging, but lighter the sun casting faint shadows, a sign of hope. And Philip secures a deal with Iris to move the children to a shed outside the city. Its wooden walls sturdier, its air cleaner, the scent of earth and grass a relief. After the warehouse's dust, the shed is small, its roof leaking. But Theo feels a spark of belonging. His hands busy weaving mats with Lucas, his heart lighter as Clara hums a tune, her voice a thread of calm. So he finds a patch of wild herbs, their scent sharp and green, and they boil them into a thin soup. Its warmth spreading through Theo's chest, the taste bitter but life-giving. Marcos carves a small wooden fish, its edges rough but kind, and gives it to Theo, a gift to join the wooden dove, a symbol of their shared survival. Philip speaks of work on a farm beyond the hills owned by a widow named Lydia. Her fields spared by the plague, her rules strict but fair, and Theo listens, his heart stirring, with the thought of open land of earth under his fingers, of a place to call home. The city's pulse slows, its markets quieter, its people weary but enduring. The fog a constant companion, but no longer a suffocating weight. Theo traces the wooden dove and the fish whispering prayers for Anna and Silas, their faces blurred but their love clear. The shed's wooden walls a fragile shelter against the world's uncertainty. The story pauses here, with Theo in Syracuse's outskirts, his heart heavy but hopeful, the scent of earth a promise of new roots. Let the gentle rustle of straw lull you now, and we'll continue in the next part, where Sicily's hills bloom with hope under a sky daring to clear. As the gentle rustle of straw lingers in your mind, picture a dusty path winding out of Syracuse in the late summer of 537 CE, the air alive with the hum of cicadas, the bleat of sheep on distant slopes, and the faint scent of wild thyme crushed underfoot. Theo, now 11, walking beside Philip, his sandals crunching on gravel, his hand clutching the wooden dove and the small wooden fish carved by Marcos, their smooth curves a tether to his past. His heart stirring with cautious hope as Sicily's hills rise green under a sky daring to clear. The fog of the past year thinning, the sun casting faint shadows, its light a touch warmer than the blue haze that cloaked Constantinople. The path leads to a farm owned by Lydia, a stern widow with sharp eyes and a voice like stone. Her fields spared by the rumored plague, her rules strict, but fair her land a patchwork of barley olives, and fix their leaves rustling in the breeze, the air rich with the smell of earth and ripening fruit. Philip secured work here for himself and the children, Theo, Clara, Lucas, Zoe, and Marcos, their small group trailing behind, their clothes threadbare, their faces pale but eager. The shed's cramped walls left behind for open fields, the scent of grass a promise of new roots. Lydia meets them at the gate, her grey hair tied tight, her hands calloused from years of labour. Her gaze scanning the children, settling on Theo, his small frame straight despite his hunger. Her nod a silent approval. Her voice gruff, work hard, eat well, slack off, you're gone, she says, pointing to a stone hut near the barn, its walls sturdy, its roof thatched. The air inside smelling of straw and wood smoke, a far cry from Syracuse's dusty warehouse. Theo sets his belongings in a corner, the wooden dove and fish tucked safely in his cloak, his eyes tracing the hut's beams, his heart lifting at the thought of a bed, a hearth, a place to belong. The farm's rhythm is steady, waking at dawn to tend fields, the earth cool under Theo's fingers. The barley stalks rough, their heads heavy with grain, the sun's warmth a gentle caress after months of cold. Clara and Zoe weave baskets, their fingers nimble, the straws rustle a soft song, while Lucas and Marcos herd goats, their bleats echoing across the hills. Lucas's whistle a melody that calms the herd, his quiet strength growing. Marcos limping, but determined, his laughter a spark in the morning air. Theo learns to prune olive trees, the sap sticky on his hands, the leaves silver green, their scent sharp and clean. Lydia's instructions sharp, but patient, her eyes softening when he cuts a branch cleanly, her rare praise a warmth in his chest. Philip works the barn, mending tools, his hammer's thud a steady beat, his stories of the sea a comfort at night, the hut's half crackling, its glow casting shadows on the walls, the air thick with the smell of lentil stew, its taste plain but filling, the grain less gritty than Syracuse's rations. The farm is a haven, its gates closed to outsiders. Lydia's rules keeping the plague at bay. News from Syracuse whispering of fevered streets, empty markets. But here the fields thrive, the harvest bountiful, the air clean, the scent of figs sweet on Theo's tongue, their juice a rare delight after years of hunger. Theo's days are full, his hands busy, his heart heavy with thoughts of Anna and Silas's prayers whispered over the wooden dove, its curves worn smoother each night. The wooden fish a new anchor, a gift of friendship from Marcos, who shares tales of his coastal village, his voice soft, his eyes distant but kind. Clara teaches Theo to braid rope, her fingers steady, her prayers a quiet hum, while Zoe tells stories of Frus, her quick laugh a light in the gloom. Lucas showing Theo how to milk goats, the warm milk frothy, its taste rich, a small victory in their new life. One evening a stranger arrives at the farm, a priest named Matthias, his robes dusty, his face lined but gentle, his voice carrying the cadence of Cappadocia, stirring Theo's heart, the scent of home, of cliffs and halves flooding his memory. Matthias speaks with Lydia, his hands clasped, his words low, and Theo overhears, his heart racing. The priest knows a couple, Anna and Silas, survivors of Constantinople's fire, now in Syracuse, searching for their son. Theo steps forward, his voice trembling, the wooden dove clutched tight. Are they alive? He asks, his eyes wide, Matthias's smile warm. They are a child, and they seek you, he says, his hand resting on Theo's shoulder, his touch a quiet promise. Lydia agrees to send Philip to Syracuse, his boots crunching on the path, his loyalty unwavering, while Theo waits, his heart torn between hope and fear, his nights restless. The hut's hearth a flickering comfort, the air thick with the smell of wool and smoke. Days pass, the harvest continuing, Theo's hands busy with barley, the stalks rough, his fingers blistered, but steady, his thoughts fixed on his parents, the wooden dove and fish his constant companions, their curves grounding him against the uncertainty. Clara prays for him, her voice soft, her cord twisted tight, while Lucas shares a piece of cheese, its taste sharp, a small gift to ease Theo's worry. Zoe weaving a small pouch for his treasures, her grin a spark of light. Marcos carving a tiny goat, its edges rough but kind, their friendship a shield against the weight. The farm's fields glow golden, the olives heavy, the figs ripe, their sweetness a balm for Theo's heart, the air alive with the buzz of bees, their hum a song of life after the silence of Cappadocia's lost fields. Lydia oversees the work, her voice firm, her eyes sharp, but her hand gentle, when she corrects Theo's pruning, her trust a quiet honor, her farm a sanctuary under a sky growing clearer the fog, a fading memory, the sun's light stronger, its warmth a miracle after the blue haze. One morning, a cart creaks up the path, its wheels wobbling. The air sharp with the scent of dust and sweat, Philip at the reins, his face weary but bright. Two figures beside him, Anna and Silas, their faces thinner, their clothes patched, but their eyes alive with love, their steps quick as they spot Theo at the gate, his heart leaping, the wooden dove and fish clutched tight, his feet running, his voice breaking, "Mother, Father," he cries. Their arms wrapping him close, Anna's tears warm on his cheek, her wooden cross glinting, Silas's grit fierce, his voice rough, "We found you, son, we found you." The air thick with the smell of their cloaks, of earth and survival, their reunion aflame in the chill of dawn. Matthias follows his blessing soft, his eyes bright, the farm's workers pausing, their hands still, their smiles of Lydia, Clara, Lucas, Zoe, and Marco's a quiet chorus, the air alive, with the rustle of barley, the bleat of goats, the hum of life. Anna tells their story, the fire's chaos, their escape to a fishing boat, their search through Syracuse's crowded streets, Matthias's church a beacon, his letters to farms a lifeline, their hope never fading, their love a steady pulse. Silas speaks of scars, his hands rougher, his back bent, but his strength unbroken, his eyes warm as he ruffles Theo's hair, the wooden dove a shared memory, its curves a map of their journey. Lydia offers them work, her voice gruff, her eyes soft, a hut near Theo's, its walls sturdy, its hearth ready, the air rich with the promise of family. The family settles, Anna weaving with Clara, her fingers deft. Her songs from Cappadocia, a quiet lullaby, Silas mending fences, his hammers thud a steady beat. Theo helping both, his hands busy, his heart full, the wooden dove and fish tucked safely in his pouch, their weight a reminder of loss and love. The farm thrives, its barns full, its orchard heavy with fruit, the air sweet with figs, their juice sticky on Theo's fingers, the harvest a celebration of survival. The workers sharing bread, cheese, and olives, their laughter a song under the stars. The sky clear, its light a gift after years of haze. Philip visits, his stories of the docks a bridge to Syracuse, his loyalty a quiet strength. Matthias returning to bless the fields, his voice soft, his prayers a shield. Against the plague's shadow, Lydia's rules keeping the farm safe, its gates closed, its people whole. Theo feels the earth under his feet, its coolness a promise, the barley's rustle a lullaby, his family's presence a hearth in his heart, the wooden dove, and fish his anchors, their curves a story of survival. The farm a new home under a sky daring to shine. The story pauses here, with Theo's family reunited, their roots sinking deep into Sicilian soil, their hope blooming like the fields around them. Let the rustle of barley and the warmth of family lull you now, and we'll continue in the next part, where new lessons and legacies bloom under a clearer sky. As the rustle of barley and the warmth of family linger in your mind, picture a warm spring morning. On Lydia's farm in 538 C, the sun rising clear, its golden rays painting Sicily's hills in soft hues. The air alive with the scent of fresh earth, blooming wildflowers, and the faint sweetness of figs. Ripening on gnarled branches, Theo now 12 waking in. The stone hut he shares with Anna, Silas, and Lucas his adopted brother from the sea journey, the wooden dove, and fish tucked safely in a woven pouch beside his straw mattress, their curves worn smooth by his touch, a tether to his past as he steps into a world where the fog of 536 fades, the sky brighter, the sun's warmth a gentle caress on his skin. The farm hums with life, the barley fields swaying in the breeze, their stalks whispering, the goats bleating in their pens, their milk frothy in wooden pails, the air rich with the smell of turned soil and cut grass, Lydia's sharp voice calling workers to tasks, her eyes softer now, her trust in Silas growing, his hands steady as he mends fences, his hammers thud a steady rhythm across the fields. Anna tends a small garden, her fingers deft as she plants onions, and leeks their green shoots breaking through the earth, her wooden cross glinting. As she hums Cappadocian songs, their melodies are quiet, lullaby that soothes Theo's heart, his hands busy weeding beside her, the soil cool and damp, its scent grounding him in this new home. Lucas, broad-shouldered and quiet, herds goats with Marcos, their whistles blending with the breeze, their laughter a spark of joy, while Clara and Zoe weave baskets in the shade of an olive tree, their fingers nimble. The straws rustle a soft song, their voices light as they share stories of lost homes, their bond a thread of strength. Theo's days are full, his mornings spent hauling water from a nearby stream, the bucket heavy its rope rough, the water cold against his hands, his afternoons learning letters. With Anna, her patience steady as she traces Greek characters in the dirt, their shapes curling like vines, her voice gentle as she corrects his strokes. The dust rising in soft clouds, the air warm with the scent of earth and effort. Lydia, seeing Theo's eagerness, sends him to the monastery school twice a week. A short walk across the hills, the path lined with wild thyme. Its scent sharp underfoot, the monastery's stone walls weathered but sturdy, its courtyard quiet. Save for the murmur of monks, their sandals whispering on flagstones. Brother Thomas, a kind-eyed monk, with ink-stained fingers teaches Theo and Lucas to write on wax tablets, the stylus scratching. Softly its sound a rhythm that calms Theo's mind. The letters challenging but thrilling, each stroke a step toward capturing the stories of his journey. The blue sun, the burning city, the sea's cold waves. Lucas struggles, his fingers clumsy, but Theo helps him trace alpha and beta, their whispers blending with the rustle of Brother Thomas's robe, their friendship a shield against the challenge. The air thick with the smell of wax and old parchment, the monastery's cool rooms a contrast to the farm's open warmth. At night, the family gathers in their hut, the hearth's glow casting soft shadows. The air rich with the scent of lentil stew and fresh bread, its crust crisp, its taste a comfort after years of scarcity. Anna's songs filling the space, her voice a balm. Silas sharing tales of the fields, his laughter deep, his hands rough but gentle as he ruffles Theo's hair. Lydia visits, her nod a rare approval, her voice gruff but kind. The farm's success a testament to her rules, no outsiders, no travel, keeping the plague's shadow at bay. News from Syracuse speaking of fevered streets, but here the fields bloom, the harvest heavy. The barns full of grain, olives and figs, their sweetness a delight on Theo's tongue. A taste of hope after hunger. Philip stops by, his boots dusty from the docks. His stories of Syracuse a bridge to the world beyond, his loyalty a quiet strength, his gifts of dried fish a treat, their salt sharp, their taste a reminder of the sea. Theo feels the farm's rhythm settle in his bones, his hands stronger, his heart lighter, the wooden dove and fish his anchors, their curves. A map of survival, from Cappadocia's cliffs to Constantinople's fire, from the sea to this Sicilian soil. Anna deepens his learning, teaching him prayers scratched in the dirt, her fingers guiding his, a voice patient, the dust rising like a soft mist. Her stories of Cappadocia's festivals, its dances, and feasts a distant memory that Theo vows to keep alive, his stylus scratching late into the night. The wax tablet glowing faintly in the hearth's light, the air heavy with the smell of wool and smoke. Lucas finds his place with the goats, his hands gentle, his whistle a melody that calms the herd. Lydia, giving him charge of a larger pen, his grin wide, his pride a quiet glow. While Clara and Zoe mend cloaks, their needles flashing, their laughter a song that lifts the hearts. Quiet evenings. Silas takes on more duties, his voice carrying across the fields, his strength a pillar for the workers. Lydia's trust in him a bond that secures their place, the family moving to a larger hut. Its walls wider, its hearth broader, the air rich with the scent of fresh timber and earth a small plot for their own vegetables, carrots and leeks sprouting under Anna's care, their green tips a promise of permanence. The farm's isolation protects them, the plague's shadow lingering. But distant the air clean, the sun's light stronger, its warmth a gift after years of haze. The fields golden, the orchard heavy, the bees buzzing their hum, a song of life. Theo helps Silas repair a barn, the hammer's thud a steady beat, the wood scent sharp, the nails cold under his fingers, his arms stronger now, his heart full as Silas speaks of the farm's future, a place to grow old, a legacy rooted in soil. Anna weaves a new cloak for Theo, its wool soft, its warmth a shield against the evening chill. Her song's a thread that binds their family. her cross glinting as she works the air alive with the hum of her loom, its rhythm a lullaby that suits Theo's dreams. The workers share a small feast, the table heavy with bread, cheese, and olives, their flavors rich. Their laughter a chorus under the stars, the sky clear. Its light a miracle after the blue sun's rain. Theo feels the weight of his journey, the losses, the fire, the sea, but also the gains, family, home, hope. The wooden dove and fish, his silent guardians, their curves a story. He's learning to write his stylus, scratching dreams of keeping their past alive. The farm's fields stretch wide, their barley swaying, their scent a promise of abundance. The air warm with the glow of survival, the sun's light a steady flame, the world healing under its touch. The story pauses here, with Theo's heart rooted in this new home, his hands busy, his dreams bright with possibility. Let the soft hum of the fields and the glow of the hearth cradle you now, and we'll continue in the final part, where legacies take shape under Sicily's radiant sky. As the soft hum of the fields and the glow of the hearth cradle you now picture a crisp autumn dawn. On Lydia's farm in late 538 CE, the sun rising golden, its light spilling over Sicily's hills, painting the barley fields in soft hues, the air rich with the scent of ripe figs, warm earth, and the faint smoke of a distant hearth. Theo now 12 standing at the farm's gate, his woven pouch heavy with the wooden dove, and fish their curves worn smooth by his touch, a testament to his journey from Cappadocia's shadowed cliffs, through Constantinople's burning streets, across the cold sea to this fertile soil, where hope has taken root, his heart full, his hands strong are his dreams bright with the promise of a future shaped by family and survival. The farm thrives under a sky now clear, the volcanic fog of 536, a fading memory, the sun's warmth, a steady embrace, its light glinting on the barley stalks. Their rustle a gentle song, the goats bleating in their pens, their milk rich in wooden pails. The orchard heavy with olives and figs, their sweetness a gift after years of hunger. Silas, now farm manager, walks the fields with a steady stride, his hands rough, but sure, his voice carrying across the hills, directing workers with a calm authority. His laughter deep as he shares a joke with Lucas, whose skill with goats has earned him a herd of his own. The animals following his whistle, their bells jingling in the morning air, the scent of their wool mingling with the earth's warmth. Anna tends the garden, her fingers deft as she harvests leeks and carrots, their green tips vibrant, her wooden cross glinting as she hums Cappadocian melodies. Their notes a thread that binds the family. Her song's a quiet lullaby that soothes Theo's heart, his hands busy beside her, pulling weeds. The soil cool and damp, its scent grounding him in this new home. Lydia, her grey hair looser now, her eyes softer, oversees the farm with a nod, her trust in Silas a bond that secures their place. Her voice gruff but kind, her rare smiles a warmth that lights the workers' evenings. The air thick with the smell of fresh bread and cheese, their flavors rich, a celebration of abundance. Theo's days are full, his mornings spent hauling water from the stream, the bucket heavy its rope, rough the water cold against his hands, his afternoons at the monastery school. The path lined with wild thyme, its scent sharp underfoot, the stone walls of the monastery cool, their silence broken by the murmur of monks, their sandals whispering on flagstones. Brother Thomas, his fingers stained with ink, teaches Theo and Lucas to write on wax tablets, the stylus scratching softly, its rhythm calming Theo's mind, the Greek letters curling like vines. Each stroke a step toward capturing the story of his family's survival, the blue sun, the fire, the sea, the farm's golden fields. Theo excels, his words flowing, his tablet filled with tales of Cappadocia's cliffs. Anna's songs, Silas's strength, the wooden dove and fish, his muses, their curves a map of memory. The air heavy with the smell of wax and parchment, the monastery's quiet rooms a sanctuary for his dreams. Lucas, slower with letters, finds his place with the goats, his hands gentle, his whistle a melody that calms the herd, his pride glowing as Lydia praises his work, the air alive with the bleat of animals, the rustle of grass, the hum of bees. Clara and Zoe, now skilled weavers, craft cloaks and baskets, their needles flashing, their laughter a song that lifts the farm's evenings. Their hands deft as they mend Theo's pouch, its weave tighter, its strength a symbol of their bond. the scent of wool and olive oil lingering in the air. Philip visits from Syracuse, his boots dusty, his stories of the docks a bridge to the world beyond. His gifts of dried fish a treat, their salt sharp, their taste a reminder of the sea that carried Theo here, his loyalty a quiet strength, his laughter a warmth that joins the family's hearth, the fire's glow casting soft shadows, the air rich with the smell of lentil stew and honeyed figs, their sweetness a delight on Theo's tongue. Anna deepens Theo's learning, teaching him prayers scratched in the dirt, her fingers guiding his, her voice patient, the dust rising like a soft mist, her stories of Cappadocia's festivals, its dances under starlit skies, a memory Theo vows to preserve, his stylus scratching late into the night, the wax tablet glowing in the hearth's light, the air heavy with the smell of wool and smoke, his words a bridge to the past, a promise to keep their story alive. Silas shares plans for the farm, his voice steady, his hands tracing maps in the air. Speaking of new fields, more goats, a legacy rooted in this soil, his eyes bright. As he ruffles Theo's hair, the wooden dove a shared memory, its curves a symbol of their endurance. The farm's isolation protects them, the plague's shadow distant Syracuse's streets still fevered. But here the fields bloom, the barns full, the air clean, the sun's light a miracle. After years of haze, the workers sharing a harvest festival, the tables heavy with bread, cheese, olives, and figs, their flavors rich, their laughter a chorus under the stars, the sky radiant its light. A gift that warms Theo's heart, his family whole, his home secure. Theo feels the weight of his journey, the losses of Cappadocia, the fire's terror, the sea's cold waves. But also the gains, Anna's songs, Silas's strength, Lucas's friendship, the farm's abundance. The wooden dove and fish, his silent guardians, their curves a story he's learning to write. His tablet filled with words that capture their survival, his heart full as he reads to Anna. Her smile aflame, her cross glinting, her voice soft, you'll keep us alive, Theo, through your words. She says, a hand warm on his, the air thick with the scent of earth and hope. Silas watches, his eyes proud, his hands rough, but gentle, the farm, his legacy, its fields, a testament to their endurance. The air alive with the rustle of barley, the hum of bees, the bleat of goats. The farm a sanctuary under a sky now golden. Lucas, now a brother, shares a carved wooden bird, its edges smooth, a gift to join Theo's pouch, their friendship a steady light, Clara and Zoe adding a woven chord, their laughter a melody that binds the family. Lydia's not a quiet blessing, her farm, their home, its earth a promise of permanence. The festival ends, the workers drifting to their huts, the air cool, the stars bright, the scent of figs and smoke lingering. Theo standing at the gate, his pouch heavy, his heart light, his stylus still. His story unfinished but alive, his dreams bright with the promise of tomorrow, the sun's lighter certainty, the farm's warmth a cradle for his hope. As the night deepens, Theo closes his eyes, the quiet darkness a comfort. The stars above Sicily a gentle guide, their light a whisper of stories yet to come, inviting you to drift into dreams, to linger in this world of hope and survival, and perhaps, when the night calls again, to join history orbit for another tale, where the past unfolds like a soft blanket, wrapping you in its timeless embrace.